Well, are we live? Okay, welcome everyone to this meeting of the Finance Strategy and Management Committee, 16th of April. A little bit later than 7:45, but there we are. Apologies for absence. Do we have a meeting?
We have apologies from Councillors Miller and Rowlands.
Declarations of interest. Do we have any declarations of interest? Okay. We don't have any members of the public present, so no public participation will be happening. Minutes. To approve the minutes of the committee meeting held on the 5th of March. Any questions of accuracy, or can I have a proposal for accepting? Councillor Thomas, Councillor you seconding, right? All those in favour? Okay, thank you. To note and approve any recommendations of the notes of the 357 working group, 353, 357 Reading Road working group on the 25th of March. And I'm happy to propose those. Attended. Okay, the right page. So I propose those minutes. A second of that. Councillor Plant, also in favour? Right, thank you. Item number 5, finance, to receive the management accounts, bank reconciliations and summary of payments. You did have one or two questions, I think, Councillor Hunt. Are you going to ask those afterwards, or do you want to raise them now?
The only one I want to raise now is just looking through on page 11 of the agenda. Does show that at the end of March we were due to make a £94,460 deficit, and it suddenly goes down by the end of the year by nearly 50 grand. So,
who wants to answer that? Anything?
So the management accounts at the moment are very draft. That was going to be the caveat we were going to say from the start. So because we're only shortly into April, and there's lots of year-end adjustments and things like that. So they are very, very draft at the moment. Whether or not that, so the year-end forecast of 47,500 was the forecast from January. So whether or not we'll still achieve that forecast, we don't know. So
will that be presented at the next FSNM meeting?
Yes, it will. Yeah,
thank you.
But just to give you an example, we still need to account for the investments, the gains on our investments, which are disclosed in our accounts. So yes, there are a few items to add.
And on the subject of investment, I just want to express some concern that once again we are drawing down substantial sums from our investments, and it'll be good to put it back in at some point.
Yeah, as you can see, the investments, the year-end forecast is 126, and the previous year was 148. Some of that's just when the stock market performs, but some of that is also due to drawdowns.
Unless we've drawn down several hundred thousand.
And although the Venture Playground, for example, involves significant drawdowns, and it shows a good return on investment, the investment income, because we don't necessarily put that back in, it doesn't reflect that wholly. And of course, that's one of the reasons that we've increased the looking at our reserves. Okay, have you finished with asking questions?
Yes.
Okay, so can I propose that we receive all these en bloc, or does anyone else want to individually?
But I don't understand why the E's in Kelly are capital and the rest aren't. But now that I've noticed it on paper, I will change it on the digital signature. I have no idea why it's done that, but it looks absolutely absurd in large print.
well, I always write mine here.
It's so weird.
Yes, you're right. So yes, I think it's just the way the font works.
Yeah, it must be. I need to change the font.
You're not seeing that, same as Sheridan.
Yeah. Oh, Sheridan as well. Yeah,
I mean, I actually use the mouse, so
it's actually very similar to Donald Trump's.
Oh, great. Let's hope that's where the similarity.
That's probably where the similarity ends. Okay, right. So I think I proposed, and for a second, that we receive them all, Councillor Hunt. All in favour of receiving these en bloc? Thank you. Item number 6, expenditure. So we have 5 items of expenditure. First of all, the additional work for a step ladder into the River Thames. Now, I know I have been asked about, if I just find my emails on this, there was some concerns about health and safety around this step ladder into the river. What checks are we making to ensure that it is something that promotes safety as opposed to reduces it.
Not just that, but also to what extent is the pollution in the river an issue? And therefore, should we consider delaying the implementation?
Well, I wasn't thinking about pollution, although that is
That point.
that is relevant. I was thinking about things like not allowing swimming at night, swimmers to wear a clearly visible marker, and for navigation signs for the traffic.
I'm happy to answer that, but I don't know that Kelly's councillor.
Well, there was always a ladder there anyway, and it is just further under, you can't access it now. And it's not so much we're having massive pointing signs saying, please access the river here. I know that the title of the report is Steps into the River, but actually this came about because every summer, particularly on the last day of school, the year 6 students and some of the year 5s from Trinity, every year it's tradition, will jump in off that platform, and some of them can't get themselves out. So every year we get children stuck. One year they had a paddle board there, the children were stuck under the paddle board trying to get out. We've had adults, including myself, pulling them out with their arms. And so the health and safety issue is actually the children getting stuck in it every single year, proven. We've
I'm not
seen that.
suggesting that we
But
don't do
also,
it for those reasons. I'm suggesting we ensure that some safeguards there.
There was a ladder, when that platform was put in, there was a ladder there originally.
So the additional measures were put in as a result of the risk assessment to make sure that it is safe, or as safe as possible. So it includes a new life buoy there, which will have safe swimming guidance. It will also have a buoy in the stream itself to warn vessels that there might be swimmers in the area as well. There'll be a timber post to make sure that it's kept clear so that people can use it. On the pollution, if we're making reapplication for bathing water designation, then having safe access into the river greatly helps that application. So if we want to address the pollution, this is actually a way to do that. Having said that, this will not be a big flashing sign saying, please start swimming in the river here. It is for people who do swim, or then it is an amenity they can use, but it's not something that we would be publicising or advertising people. This is a new swimming spot, start swimming here.
Something to think, sorry to interject again, but something to think about is if you fall into the river from a boat, or you fall into the river, Marshmallows, Mill Meadows, somewhere, where are you getting out? So whether you can swim or not, whether you've got a life jacket on or not, where are you getting out of the river?
I think the presence of the steps is a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm not against the steps at all. I'm just suggesting if there are other health and safety issues that we should consider as part of the putting in of the steps. You're satisfied that we're doing it? Sorry.
Sorry,
There's a few.
can I just say that in under 3, detailed consideration, all those points are made with real thought. So, the bases have been covered.
Let's take the argument, but I don't think they've been covered in terms of visibility of swimmers.
There's a could be boy.
Yeah, there'll be a buoy in the river, but the buoy-
Users.
Yes, that doesn't help with the visibility, particularly at night.
I mean, we've got.
What, so we want a flashing fluorescent buoy with a sign on saying.
Let's think
not
about
swim
people
here.
using boats using the river at night time. I mean,
That's been reasonable.
No, boats do use river, particularly if you get single scullers going down there, or quads, you got
at
training
night
down.
time,
Yeah,
but in the darkness.
yes.
Can we go for 5.1? Because let's assume a modicum of common sense you people that may wish to be rescued by the staff.
Yes.
Okay, right, I think we've given it enough consideration.
Yeah.
So you're proposing.
I think so, yeah.
Okay, for a second for that,
Yeah.
please. Right, all those in favour? Okay. Fencing works for 40-acre field. This is the continuing saga of the slow ones. And this money will come back, we hope, in the not too distant future. So there's a fairly detailed response here about explanation by the Deputy Town Clerk, I think. And where's the total gone? I've lost it.
Well, the costs have gone up.
Would you like me to speak to it? Yeah.
Yeah, so the total is 4,850. Kath, yeah, anything that you want to say, or don't have any questions? Kath, go ahead.
Okay, so just very briefly, as you've just noted, in total, this is a request for just under £5,000 to be taken from SIL in first instance. Back in early 2022, RNA and finance committees agreed spending on fencing, firstly for the slow worms to give a vehicular access up the side of 40 acre field to be able to create a suitable environment for slow worms and to maintain that space, and also to widen the path further all the way up to the end of the Sue Ryder area. The work can start now, but in the meantime, since the quotes were obtained back in December 2021, the costs have not surprisingly gone up. We've also identified a gate that needs to move. That's into the Sue Ryder area. It's a vehicular access gate. And there's an additional cost for removal of the fencing. Originally, we thought we'd be leaving the existing fencing in place while a hedge grew up, because we were having issues with holes being made in the fencing, and we thought that a hedge growing would protect the new fencing, but that's no longer an issue. So for fencing that's part of the slow worm works, the Henley Town Council would pay a quarter of that fee. And for the rest of it, so the fencing on the remainder of the main path, which is alongside the slow worm area and the Sue Ryder area, and the gate into Sue Ryder, plus a fence which is proposed between the slow worm area and the Sue Ryder area, that's Henley Town Council's responsibility. Thank you.
Thank you, Kath. Rob Lawson, do you want to?
I think the recommendation and the actual presentation is pretty straightforward. I mean, I still find this whole thing absorbent cost to keep slow worms in a field, but that's by and by. And otherwise, I think we should go.
As they say nowadays, we are where we are.
Yeah, so I think we should go with 5.1.
Okay, I'll second that.
1.4.
All's in favour of that proposal. Thank you. Thank you, Kath.
Thank you.
6C, Oxfordshire Play Association grant. Now, we deferred this from a previous meeting, because planning a meeting with the Oxfordshire Play Association with respect to the actual venue of Freeman's Meadow. Councillor Henderson, I think you and Becky Walker and Carl Bishop met up with them, and I saw a summary which said that they had addressed your concerns about the venue. Is that right?
I didn't meet with them.
Oh,
So
really? I thought you did.
Did I? Could I do that? I forget. I don't think I did. You guess like-
One of us has got a very bad memory.
I think this was a conversation that had actually been had between Oxfordshire Play Association and Carl Bishop and Becky Walker when they actually made the initial booking for Freeman's. At that time, we suggested, oh, do you want to put your Freeman's, or we've got Macon's, or we've got Millman, and so there was that conversation had before about where is the best venue for it, and Carl, Becky, and Oprah are happy that Freeman's is the best location for it.
I know that there are concerns that particularly parking and access will be an issue. They are expecting quite a few people. Councillor Hunt, I've discussed this with, and I know you have concerns there.
So again, Rory, councillor was the one that sort of raised my attention to it, although I see that I was included in the emails from last November. I don't see, so basically we usually have a Sohar event up at Makin's. We normally have a YMCA event down at YMCA that's supported by Sohar as well. And we have nomad events sometimes at Freeman's, sometimes they're all over, and this is about collating them. So when I looked at 1,000 people, I thought they must be coming from outside of Henley at first, of course, because 1,000 people don't attend these events. But actually, these events cover the 3 large social housing estates that we have in Henley. Usually they're on the recreation grounds by them. And if you're pulling the forces of all of those events together, Sohag, as it said in the application, Sohag, Nomad, and AOPA supporting that. They are going to market it heavily across Henley, but I imagine will be particularly to those three areas because that's the areas that the events normally cover. Then actually 1,000, although maybe quite ambitious, with children plus their families, carers and so on, it's not unachievable. So I don't believe that they will be marketing this outside of Henley at all. And therefore I have no issues with the travel concerns.
Okay.
If they were, then I think.
I
I'd
still think
have-
that quite a
I'd
few
have
of the 1,000 may well still try and drive there.
I would like to propose that we accept the grant application on condition that they make it clear that there is no parking on site. And that
They market it on that basis.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think that's.
Yeah, I think that's better.
I think we should definitely share that concern with the organisers, who seem very responsible.
How would they park on site?
No, that's the point, there is no parking on site.
No, precisely.
Well, they clog up the roads with,
Okay.
and that's the worry, that the whole area around Freeman's gets gridlocked.
Yeah.
And I think there is a real concern, but I think we have to work with the Oxfordshire Play Association and ask them to make sure that's managed. So I'm going to propose that we make the reward grant, but ask them to make sure that they make it clear there's no parking in and around Freeman's. Okay.
Could we actually put some parking restrictions in there?
I think we're
No, there's no parking area.
No,
there just isn't parking there.
it's
It's,
on public highway, which we never get.
Okay.
okay, so made the proposal. All those in favour of that proposal? Thank you. Town hall water heaters. So just replacement. Oh, this is a further report. So you giving that to?
Yeah, so basically there are two water heaters that are broken down that we need to replace. One is in the mezzanine kitchen, one is in the single toilet. We need to replace it anyway. The suggestion is that we would be basically upgrading it to a more modern, more energy efficient boilers with timers on them, so that we're only boiling water when we need to, and therefore it would be suitable for capital expenditure. We've taken the advice of the projects officer for climate emergency with his views on what would be the best models to use, and hence it's come to this committee. So we will spend the money anyway. It's just whether or not we spend it out of the revenue budget or from capital expenditure.
Yeah, capital expenditure seems reasonable given we are improving the in line with our view on the climate emergency. Okay, proposal that we got, Councillor Hunt, Councillor Platt seconding that. All those in favour? Right, thank you. Town hall lightning protection. If we're attacked by lightning, which I can't think why my God would choose to strike us down. But maybe I can. So the report gives a sort of clear indication that in order for the town hall to be safe and protected, we need to improve those facilities.
All seems very straightforward, but just one question. How long does it last for? How long does this future-proof us?
It's a very good question. Unfortunately, we don't have the report author with us.
But then £5, that's fine. That's fine.
So,
I
yeah,
don't think
I couldn't.
it's.
No, how long Max lasted for.
I think it depends on what happens with the British standards. So,
Yeah, okay, so can we proposal?
Can't use the electricity.
Propose it.
All's in favour? Thank you, so that's approved.
Yeah, I'm just going to see who's making the noise outside. It's disturbing my
It's
trade.
next door, next door.
It's next door.
Oh, I see, it's the committee room.
Who's next door?
Someone is, someone's chatting.
it might be another hire next door.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Item number 7, to note amendments to the flexible working policy. So this is in line with national legislation.
Propose approval.
Yeah, I think it's all very straightforward. I'm happy to second that. Don't want to speak to this? Okay, all's in favour? Right, thank you.
Yeah, you lot don't like it, do you?
Okay, exclusion of public and press, so, I now propose that we, the public and press be excluded from the remainder of the meeting in accordance with the Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act 1960, if publicity will be prejudicial to the public interest by reason of the confidential nature of the business. I so move. Those in favour?